So a reliable source has leaked what he believes to be PlayStation 5's performance numbers. This is a chipset that is said to be a console-based APU, and the source has a good track record. Not only can we compare these numbers to the PlayStation 4's numbers, but we can also compare these numbers to high-end graphics cards on the PC. Question is, how will the PlayStation 5 fare against Microsoft's Project Scarlett? Let's get into it. So today we have some PlayStation 5 benchmarks, quote unquote. Yes, an actual score, a metric on which we can base performance. This all comes to us thanks to reliable source Episac on Twitter. Now for those that are keeping up, the Gonzalo chipset is said to be that of the PlayStation 5, and I absolutely believe it is of some kind of nature the PlayStation 5 chipset. Performance metrics even fall in line with what I thought they'd be. So let's cut to the chase. Now he has access to some type of benchmark, some type of metrics, and we'll just cut to the tweet where it says the score is hidden. I only see the overall score. PS4, rough score, 5,000. Gonzalo, score, 20,000 up. Now once more, I'm only talking about this because this guy has proven to have access to early information like this before. I will link this down below, but let's talk about what this number means. Now he does confirm that these are base PS4 scores, and they come in at roughly 5,000, just under 5,000. Whereas the Gonzalo chipset that is rumored to power the PlayStation 5, it is worth noting that Digital Foundry also believe this. Digital Foundry, in fact, are talking to this guy in this thread. Apparently they work together on some things. They also believe Gonzalo will have a hand in the next generation consoles. Gonzalo, in fact, is over 20,000 by comparison. So base PS4 under 5,000, he confirms further down this thread. Gonzalo is around 21,000, 20,000, somewhere around there. Now we cannot compare directly because they are different architectures, blah, blah, blah. Every architecture's got different rules, but it is interesting to see the comparison and where Gonzalo is hanging. Gonzalo is hanging with things like the GTX 1080. Yes, that is a very nice graphics card, even today. Keep in mind that this is some kind of benchmark software. It could very well outdo the 1080. It's actually rumored to be around the 2070 mark in performance, which is actually about 10 to 15 frames faster than a 1080, depending on the game. But overall, somewhere around GTX 1080 performance. This is actually about what I had counted on with the PlayStation 5. And it's coming to us thanks to AMD's 7nm process. They've shrunken the die, they can increase their yields, they can cut down on power consumption, therefore they can cut down on heat. And when you cut down on power consumption, not only do you cut down on heat itself, but you cut down on the parts needed in the box. Less power means a smaller power supply. Less power means less heat. Less heat means less cooling solution. Every little thing trickles up in this box to reduce the overall cost. So the more efficient they can make this thing, the better it's going to be for you and I. It'll be a smaller box, etc., blah, blah, blah. But let's talk about this GTX 1080 benchmark score that they are comparing it to, because it is very close apparently. That's still really, really impressive. That is quick enough for PC to brute force games like Batman Arkham Knight at 1440p 60 Ultra, and I use Arkham Knight because Arkham Knight was a nightmare on PC. Long story short, it's still very, very capable, even on PC games today. And once more, that's brute force. So as I said, GTX 1080, good card, trust me, I used to own one before I got my RTX 2080 that I have today. And in a console where things could be arguably more optimized, it only makes sense when developers are targeting a piece of hardware like this that it might get a bit more out of that hardware. That potential in processing power is expanded further. Question is, what type of ray tracing will this thing have? Sony have confirmed ray tracing, but have not confirmed what type of ray tracing PlayStation 5 will have. There is hardware accelerated ray tracing, like the kind Xbox Scarlett is going to have.
Next-gen ray tracing. It's real-time because it's hardware accelerated for the first time ever.
And then there is emulated software-based ray tracing, which is much more taxing on hardware. When your GPU has dedicated cores inside of it to actually do that ray tracing work, You do not have to brute force it through software, therefore it's much more efficient to turn that ray tracing technology on. For instance, with software encoded ray tracing, you may have 45 frames per second on a particular game, whereas something with hardware-based ray tracing may actually get up to that full 60 frames per second. It could mean the difference. It'll be interesting to see what Sony confirm. Another question, how will this compare to Microsoft's Project Scarlett, the box that does have hardware-based ray tracing? Do you think this thing will be faster than Project Scarlett? Let me know down below. But hey, as of right now, plan on a ridiculously fast console in the PS5. Even as an Xbox guy, I am looking forward to seeing what this thing's going to do. And of course, I'm talking about it here because once again, these guys are on the same coin, just opposite sides. If we can learn a little bit about the PlayStation 5, we may learn just a little bit more about the Project Scarlett. So to summarize, expect the power of something like a GTX 1080, very impressive for a console. Keep in mind that is a very power-hungry card as well, which is something else people are not taking into account. Graphics cards suck a lot of power from the wall. These consoles will be running on something like a 300-watt power supply, maybe even less. So they're doing all of this on a very, very limited power budget. Again, very impressive. I find it very interesting. The source is linked down below. GTX 1080 power. With the new Zen 2 CPU, you will have a ton of 60 FPS games at much higher fidelity than you have today. And I'm very excited for what this means for the next Xbox. We know we're at least looking at similar power output, if not more. Let me know what you guys think down below. Hey, if you're an Xbox guy, you don't even care about PlayStation, but you still watch this, I do appreciate you guys powered the channel. Thank you so much. Check out the links down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video or learned something today. Maybe share this with a buddy or two if you get a second. And of course, if you're new, subscribe for more stuff like this. I'm Dealer. I'm out.